Unless it loses the base, no knockup in the land. The Volibear Thunder won't actually hit anybody, and now Volibear very, very low. As you're going to show you here, and that's going to be a 3-man Shurima, and it's going to be insane. Street Smurf going crazy, going stupid. There it is. Oh, Taurus just picked up the kill, and now it's going to be the Sungo running for his life. Bada and Light Rose Upboard picking up the kill. Bada's unstoppable, and Tunes and Blaze. We have our first Koshi Mid-Spring Invitational winners.
We try to make amends, but you and I both know only legends keep their clothes. I never hated you, but still, the pressure's only gonna build.
At the same time, Sunga could just go right under the turret, and they got this. That game is over.
Almost manages to kill Kitty Hammer Spike, but his bow explode is there for his boy. Brock Lee goes in too, and with that, INT in the trees, take the cup.
And there it is, right here, right now. Team Rex Regalis successfully taking it all the way to Game 5.
Down H-Block to be the Season 4 Luna champions.
Back to back, baby. Let's go, man. The Catboys back to back.
Yeah, the pressure's gonna reach its peak, and the pressure in me's the reason to go get what's in my reach. I see enemies stepping, freedom's the end, and if I can beat them, no mending the damage, bleeding's essentially all I see in your future. Don't mess with me. This was avoidable, now it's time to put your money where you put your bullet holes. Only one of us will still be standing when the morning tolls. If I had to guess, I guess you're probably feeling vulnerable. Welcome, enjoy your funeral.
Proceeds to howl, yet you never hear the sound. Stand face to face again, feeding flames until the end.
We try to make amends, but you and I both know only legends keep their clothes. Never hated you, but still, the pressure's only gonna build.
This season has been pretty easy for us. We've been able to win every game super early on without any mishaps or anything going awry. It's been pretty clear stomps. We've gotten basically all the objectives we wanted, every dragon, all 7 of them. But the season's going pretty well. I haven't gotten hit by a car this season, so much needed upgrade over the last season.
I don't think any of the other teams have been able to stand up to UB's drafting. Utility Monster spends at least 30 minutes on every single one of our drafts, so we're going to be really prepared for anything that can come out. And honestly, I'm prepared to slam Annie into anything that Sweezy can play.
This season, our group writers clearly got bored because they basically just recycled previous year's content. They threw in a couple random losses to keep fans on their toes, but we all know this is going to end as a UB win.
UB is going to win because Baby sucks, and even if it does go to 5 games, the parents will have to put them to bed because they're babies.
Is UB going to win? Because Baby beat TDE. If we had to face the fearsome jungle, maybe there would be a chance we'd lose. But yeah, Baby doesn't stand a chance, especially because I'm not on the team, so they can't take advantage by ganking bot lane over and over again. So yeah.
One of the things that we have to watch out for is UB's ability to get back up no matter how hard you punch them. You could curb stomp them, and somehow they manage to stand up. And not only do they stand up, they throw in a perfect counter punch and take all the momentum away. So we have to be very careful about that.
Baby's gonna take finals for 2 reasons. One, our early game is just better than the current version of UB. If you were talking about Brian saying UB, I think that early game might have been a bit more 50-50 or even possibly UB sided, but I think with Bill in the bot lane, there's a significant weakness down there that our team is going to be able to exploit and take advantage of. And 2, I think the brawl up top lane that Jaffe's going to ensue is going to bring up multiple opportunities that our entire roster will be able to take advantage of and swing the series for good. And I think we've been fine-tuning these kind of skills, and YUBI's not going to know what to do if we're able to execute them to perfection.
If I were to describe Red, I don't know if the word better is the way to describe it, but I would just say more experienced in the top lane, because I've played top ever since I started playing League of Legends. I know he's played AD carry, so I know a lot more about top lane than he does. I know more about matchups and how to play the lane. So, I mean, he could play whatever he wants, and I feel like he could get counterpick. I don't mind. I feel like I'm still going to do my own thing against him.
I only really have one thing that I want to say to YUBI, and more specifically to Red, and that is that tonight I'm going to show you why it was a mistake benching me in Season 3, and if you'd had me, you probably would have just smashed right through YUBI, but now I'm going to smash through them this season, and you get to have a front row seat to it.
Hello, everybody. Today is the day. Grand finals have arrived for Friend or Foe Season 5. It's Team Beep Boop versus Universal Basic Income. And we're jumping straight into the draft. I'm Spencer Ultravox Cameraman, joined by Joshua Joshi Howard, and we are going to be bringing you the action today. Joshi, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We got two-time defending champions, Universal Basic Income, some of my really good friends taking on Team Beat Boop, a superstar roster coming out from FF. These guys have been playing since at least Season 2, some of them even Season 1. And as we get into the draft, it might look pretty wild, but this is exactly what these teams are going to be looking to do. And of course, Dax, not going to be letting Utility Monster ever play that Zac. Ever since he lost to it twice in Season 3, it has been banned every single game they've played against each other.
That just seems like a PTSD style trauma response. You know, you just just whooped him with it so bad he never sees it again. That's insane.
Yeah. So the big thing I kind of want to look at here, Spencer, as we start looking through this is, remember, first off, Red used to play with a lot of these guys. He was on Team BBZ. He's played multiple roles across different seasons. He's had a lot of time to play against these guys, and this is his first time really making a foray into the top lane. So just like Jaffe said in our previous video, this is going to be a challenge for him. Jaffe has been one of the best, one of the longest standing top laners in the entirety of FOF, and Red, this kind of upstart, you know, we said at the beginning of the season, if you can't beat YUBI, just join him.
Yeah, exactly. He's joined the super team of YUBI, and he might end up facing down a super team that he left, but, you know, he's got the Shen pick right now. That's something that we've seen Jaffe playing a lot previously, especially in his matches versus TDE, so I'm interested to see how Red is going to do on it, and wow, we got a Shyvana picked up for Beep Boop very early on.
Yeah, here's the secret. That is probably actually going to be going towards the top lane. It's been something that Jaffe has been playing for years. And going up against the Shen, while you might think the Spirit's Refuge might do quite a bit for you in order to keep yourself healthy in these trades, you just end up sitting in a lot of the burn damage. You can't afford to stay in the same spot as Shyvana's E. And this draft has been pretty wild thus far. Both teams just getting a lot of their comfort. Antunes on the Nautilus, Civillock on the Annie, Jaffe on the Shyvana. It's just a lot of champions that both sides are very comfortable going with pretty much everything they could possibly ask for.
Yeah, I agree. YUBI, they have the Maokai that they just love playing with. Like to try to get that bush control versus Antunes' classic hook supports, who he has looked amazing on all season, by the way. The Nautilus, yes, super great pick for Antunes. Gets a lot of work done on that. Got to see if YUBI's going to be able to withstand the early pressure coming out from that pick.
Yeah, and I'm noticing some similarities right now, Spencer, between the draft that you guys went for on TDE and the draft that Universal Basic Income is going for. Both of you guys are kind of looking at the Trundle, looking at the Viger, and saying, you know, these champions are a bit problematic for the way we like to play. We like to just kind of deathball all the time, and Universal Basic Income, one thing that they do better than basically any team in the league is they just deathball, and both these champions just shut that down so incredibly hard. And we'll see how well Yubi's actually going to be able to come back. And I already say come back because they've done it basically every single one of their games this season. How well they're going to be able to take fights around Dragons 3-4 and everything else we're expecting to see.
You got to be ready for that comeback for all 7 Dragons coming up in this game. You know it's going to be coming. It's inevitable. So, got to see how they're going to approach it. They've got a Kha'Zix hovered right now. Very spicy. They banned out a lot of Dax's, meteor junglers. We got the Jarvan and the Volibear taken away, and that's going to be a Kha'Zix locked in. This is one of the spiciest drafts I've seen all season.
I don't think we could, again, it doesn't feel like either team is pushing each other at the moment. This is definitely both teams walking into this draft, getting everything they could possibly ask for. The only question that we have to ask is, what does Dax kind of want to do? He could, in theory, take this Shyvana away from Jaffe and give a stronger counter pick over towards Team Beepboop's top laner, but at the same time, he's just willing to go for an Udyr. This is something he's a classic player on. He put so many games on this in Seasons 3 and 4, going right back on into it, and just look at how meaty this front line is from Team Baby, right? You're going to have a lot of difficulty actually chewing through this, and it feels as though Team Beepboop is trying to fight fire with fire.
Yeah, and when you look at Yubi, they don't have a lot of consistent damage so far. Annie's going to try to burst you down and one-shot you. Shen's got a little bit of damage, so does Kha'Zix, but he's looking for those squishy, isolated targets. Really makes you wonder what they're going to pick for the AD carry as they see Kai'Sa locked in for Luru. I like that with the Nautilus.
This is the kind of spot where there's a lot of different opportunities available, right? Jeff Godgamer is one of the most adaptable AD carries in the entire league. He knows how to step forward, he knows how to kite back, and now that he's going to be going into it, he's going to be picking up the Vayne, telling the entire game that he is going to be the main character no matter what. He's the one that we're going to have to be paying attention to, and he got 3rd place MVP, but he's going up against the #1 MVP in the entire league. Dax going to be going onto this Udyr. Both these teams just building meatball compositions and going to be slamming into each other.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at Vayne and you just think meatballs are going to be devoured, right? What are you going to do versus Silver Bolts? It's so difficult, right? Especially when you're Udyr and your only option is to just kind of run it, or you're very limited when it comes to the engage from Beepboop. I just don't think that they're going to be able to get onto and shut down this Vayne pick.
But let's talk about how they can potentially do it, Spencer, right? Because we are looking at a situation where this is a very tightly contested series that both these teams have played up against each other multiple times. I believe they're 1-1 on the season. And the big thing that Baby does over and over, they find early game leads, right? They're the ones who are going to be having opportunities to go around the rest of the map. They're going to be the ones looking for opportunities to find some early ganks. And Dax, even though he's on this power farming jungler Udyr, he's the kind of guy who's actually going to start looking for ganks after 3 camps.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned it before in our little scouting report on Baby, but Dax is one of the early gankingest junglers in the entire league, so we definitely got to watch out for that. And looks like Antunes and Lure are going to find some saplings to the face. Both junglers just kind of hovering around. We got utility monsters approaching the blue, and it looks like Dax will be starting on the bot side as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty classic Yubi fan, but Jaffe does find a bit of a kink in the armor. Is going to go throw down the ward towards the red buff, and that's one of the things that you have to know between these two junglers, right? Dax is the only jungler who made it into the semifinals who is a very heavy ganking jungler, whereas Utility Monster is an absolute monster at farming. He's not going to be necessarily going for a lot of the early ganking plays. He's going to be walking into the jungle. He's going to be clearing all 6 camps, and only then will he start looking at even thinking about one of the scuttle crabs. So Lure and Antunes already getting a bit of more pressure in the lane, and it does mean that Dax is going to be a little bit relegated to doing his own farming. He's not going to be faster.
Yeah, here's the engage in bot lane though. Lure and Antunes trying to find the trade. Freelance are going to get ignited, dropping very low, has to flash out. Jeff Godgamer trying to run down Antunes. He flashes forward and he will pick it up with the extra damage from the tumble. Now both of them trying to beat down Luru, but he's got so much healing, so much damage as well.
Next
will
Q.
take down Jeff Godgamer. was looking for Freelancer as well. This could be disastrous for YUBI.
With the Q.
Luru walks the bush. There's the Q. It's spread out, but it doesn't matter. 2 kills already for Luru. He's got the extra gold from Treasure Hunter, and that's exactly the start that baby wants.
Oh my gosh, that's so much money going over. Luru, third place MVP for the AD carry role. He was looking so good, but this is where they find some of their early advantages. They don't necessarily need their jungler. They can do it on their own. Jeff Godgamer misses a wave, and he walks back into lane with 0 CS, Spencer. 0. He's got nothing. He's so poor at this point, and Luru, I was worried if this Kaiser was going to have an opportunity to play these front to backs. When you just start off with 2 long swords at 2.5 minutes, you're going to be damn well sure you're going to have some damage.
Yeah, that is insane. I just cannot believe how good that is for Luru. Now, exactly like you said, they're going to just be looking to engage nonstop, just stat check the ever-living crap out of the Vayne Maokai, and just push that advantage even further. I cannot wait to see how this progresses for Baby in the bot lane.
So we'll see what they can do. Even despite this, we have to note that Baby are still down in gold because Antunes got neither of those assists. That's 300 gold that is just missing from their team. They're missing an entire kill already. And as the rest of the farming goes on, you notice that Jaffe on the Shyvana, he does end up getting pushed in. It's not a super easy, it's not a super fun early lane for the Shyvana. You generally do need that ultimate, but for the rest of the map, we're going to have to be paying more attention to them as we start getting towards the level 6. But Dax, he's actually going for the first gank as we were already expecting, trying to find his way around Civillock.
Yeah, oh, and there's the fear coming in right there. Gets stunned up. He's slowed down, has to flash away. Civillock barely trying to get out. He's got the stun and will stop Dax under the turret. Dax now in the bear suit, looking to run away from Utility Monster's approach down from the top side, and luckily will escape with his life, but does blow his flash.
That's going to be okay, though, right? Dax ends up using his flash as well, and so it does mean that there's going to be a little bit more time, right? YUBI is not a team that has necessarily been having these great early games. I was already telling Babies, like, yeah, if you come behind Civillock in the 3rd, 4th, 5th wave and just try and find an opportunity there, you're always going to be able to find at least a flash, but at the same time, just a flash is not good enough. You're going to have to find another opportunity to come back in, and P-Sweezy can set up another fear, potential opportunity for them to attack.
Yeah. I want to see him take advantage of Civillock being very immobile there. Has the boots, but that can only do so much. And so we'll have to see what Dax wants to do. He's probably going to path towards mid again, so maybe they set it up while Civillock is pushing in here.
Yeah. Well, Red does have to be a little bit careful, right? He is going to be having a smaller wave there, but I'm a little bit surprised, again, Spencer, that both of these teams are getting about as much comfort as you could possibly ask for. They're really going to be going into this game kind of testing each other, seeing how effective they're going to be on their standard champions, and it feels like very much like a game 1 draft. This is not the kind of draft that I'm expecting to see later on. If Civillock has a good game on this Annie, expect to see it banned almost every single time, but if he doesn't, then suddenly that falls off, right? He's been asking this entire season, ban my Annie, please, I don't want to play a Utility Monster, doesn't let me play anything else. If he doesn't look good on it, you could see some very different things.
Yeah, but look at the root here from Freelancer going in onto Luru. That's a lot of damage, and the shutdown immediately goes over to Utility Monster. Jeff Godgamer ignited will not be enough damage. The potions save his life. Freelancer cannot finish off Antunes, and it's going to be a super good gank from Utility Monster.
Yeah, we're also seeing exactly some of the things that we always look at from YUBI. They play some champions with very simple abilities, right? You just go directly in on them, and Freelancer subbing in for Bill the Pony is going right on back to exactly what Bill was doing, playing the Maokai, just having this point-and-click route. Whenever somebody steps out of position, he's ready to jump on them, and it means that players who aren't necessarily as familiar with the support role are going to be just as effective as some players like Antunes, who was voted the #1 support in the league, and that's going to be giving YUBI the first dragon. This is not normally how these games start to go off for YUBI, where they have a gold advantage going up against Baby.
Yeah, usually they're the ones getting dragons, 5, 6, and 7, so very interesting there. But yeah, exactly as you said, it's literally impossible to miss Maokai W. Great pick there to make sure they can just shut down Luru and collect the extra money that's on his head. Love to see that. And look, Freelancer's not done yet. He's going to be looking towards the mid. There's the stun. Tibbers is dropped as well. A lot of damage in on a P-Sweezy. And he will be going down to Civillock. Fantastic roam from Freelancer to make that happen.
That is the exact same play that Baby's been doing this entire season. Whenever you get a double kill bottom lane, whenever there's a scuffle, even if you're the one who loses your AD carry, Antunes.
He's here, but he's all by himself.
He has no
His
ignite.
closest friends are in the top river, and teleport will come out, but Civillock just kind of gets to waltz away scot-free here. Utility Monster, though, will find himself in the midst of two of Baby's members, and Jaffe and Dax, they're out for blood here, trying to get after him, blow some fire on him. Vexel just going a little bit wide and will not be enough to take him down.
Yeah, they try and find some retribution, but as I was saying, that's the exact play that Baby makes over and over. Antunes, whenever Luru gets a kill or dies or is just not in lane, he will walk into the mid lane. A little bit surprised they fall prey to the same thing.
Yeah, good hook on a freelancer on the bot side. Nice little trade there, and Jeff gets chunked down to below half. One more like that could send him back to the fountain. We do have Dax approaching the bot side as well. Maybe they want to try to set up a dive here or something.
Yeah. So I'm not expecting a big dive to potentially go through from P-Sweezy. He will notice he will get spotted out in the ward and kill that and probably turn around. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to be doing, but they do get the hook anyway.
The hook, yeah. Oh, Shen ultimate comes in. Stand United will bring Red down to the bot side. Will take down Luru. Now Jeff God Gamer looking to put a few more bolts into Antunes. Dax and P-Sweezy arrive on the scene. There will be no further conflict. It's enough of a deterrent to send YUBI back packing.
Even though they get the kill down there, it's still going to be a pretty decent trade as Jaffe up here in this top lane is going to be getting at least a full play a little bit more. But I want to praise Jeff a little bit, right?
Oh, look at the taunt, though. Big damage coming in from the turret. Ooh, yeah, not quite close enough to make a kill.
Yeah, Jeff is one of these players that I praise a lot for his ability to navigate a lot of these team fights. When he's on this vein, he's just able to lock down individual members and barely clip Luru on the edge of that bit of terrain with the Condemn. This is a big turnaround from what we were already seeing where Luru and Antunes were winning. They got the first 2 kills, but ever since then, they've just been getting feasted upon. And now Utility Monster are going to try and smite this away. There's no smite on Dax!
Yeah, he just has to walk up and press the smite. Yeah, that's Jaffe. He's trying to do a cheeky red steel play there, so... I mean, I like that a lot. You can deny the red, get yourself a little extra bonus there. That was a little bit bold, but we love to see it.
Yeah. But as we kind of take stock of where we are, Spencer, we're still once again in a position where suddenly Baby's comp is looking much more difficult to actually pilot, right? You had to ask, how are you going to be dealing with the Vayne? Well, the answer is you have too much gold for her to deal with. And now it feels like Jeff God Gamer is going to be in a position where he is kind of free to do whatever he wants later on in these fights. He can almost do no wrong. And now instead of looking at Dax and Jaffe as the primary people are going to be diving onto Vayne, the person we have to look at is what happened in the TDE Baby series. Mezuzah, P-Sweezy, both on the Vex, took turns one-shotting the enemy carry. And now P-Sweezy has to try and replicate that. But I gotta be honest, Escape, you're not Escape, wrong Spencer. You're not Ultravox. I think Jeff's better than you.
You know, I think he probably is better than me too. He's the God Gamer after all. That's a tall order to stack up to, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So if he can dodge out on the Vex ultimate, there is not a lot that Baby can really do up against this Vayne, and we're already seeing that Utility Monster, he has a whole camp up, so I'm surprised he's doing an objective, but who cares about the Wolves? We're going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald, and Dax on the other side, not going to be able to get anything done because he's spotted out. But now we have a minute left until the upcoming Dragon, and we have this big opportunity for them to try and set up. If you can force the situation where Vayne has to come in, you can still try and challenge her because she doesn't go forward through choke points that easily.
Yeah, it's all about like what you preach, right? Pastor Joshi, it's all about the choke points, you know? If you can catch the Vayne at her most vulnerable point, that's going to be Baby's big shot back into this game to make sure that they can control it and shut Jeff down.
Well, Jaffe doesn't have a lot of HP.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Taking some kind of bad trades there. He's got the Vampiric Scepter to help keep himself sustained a little bit, though, so it's not the end of the world. It's starting to get a little battered, though.
Yeah. He should be A-okay, but we're already taking a look, and it looks like YUBI is going to be the team that is first to the punch for the Dragon, but Dax down here in the bottom lane, unfortunately, he's an Udyr. He doesn't do lane ganks particularly well, right? He has to walk through the minions, and yes, he's fast, but he doesn't have the ghost. He's not going to be able to get on top of either Freelancer or Jeff, and it's just going to be a pretty free Dragon, likely going over to YUBI. P-Sweezy has a good flank angle, but I don't know if they can get in.
Yeah, Antunes, Luru, Dax all have to walk into this choke. Utility Monster tagged here by the Vex as well. And it's going to be flying in. There's Luru with the Killer Instinct too. They're looking for Civil Lock and they will stun him up and get the kill. But Dax is traded back on. Jeff God Gamer is completely untouched. Finds a beautiful Condemn as well. And now they're looking for P-Sweezy. But the flash over the wall keeps P-Sweezy safe a little bit longer. Overall, a huge blowout for YUBI. And they are so happy with that.
Yeah, seeing Jeff God Gamer never having any threat put on him just means it's a pretty easy fight, even though you lose Civillock. His bearer is still beating him up. He's got all the fire paws to try and take people down. And at the end of it, Jeff God Gamer even gets to walk over towards a turret where the Rift Herald just crashed. Another effective kill going over towards the side of YUBI. And suddenly, they're 3,000 gold up. They're almost done with this entire turret as another plate falls. This Vayne is an absolute monster. You are up 2-1 and 4. You're going to be able to back for your Mythic as an AD carry at 12 minutes. Suddenly, the one character that Baby couldn't afford to have fed is the most powerful champion on the map.
Exactly, and that's such a scary feeling. You really have to wonder how they're going to find their way back into this game. They've got to be looking for the picks, trying to find isolated members, because they're definitely not going to win a front-to-back team fight anymore.
Yeah, and ultimately, that's the big question. I don't know if Baby knows how to play in other ways, right? The one person that we kind of look at when they find other victories is Jaffe. But Jaffe is not ahead, right? He is basically bang on even with Red. Yes, he's gotten the 2 plates. Yes, that's effectively a kill that he's picked up. But the 2 assists that Red has picked up has equalized that in a lot of ways. And the Shyvana, it scales well. It does a lot of damage. It creates pressure, but he's not even able to pick up this turret after Red has ulted out of the lane twice already. You need to be able to get more than that. You need to be able to try and match that, and I don't think it really gets better. He needs help from Dax and Sweezy.
Yeah, and speaking of Dax and Sweezy, here they are coming up the river.
Red.
Red commits forward, and this is going to be just a fatal error here as the rest of Jaffe's brothers arrive. Everfrost locks him down, and there's the kill going straight on over. Beautiful gank right there, but what will it cost for Baby? We got Civillock and Utility Monster heading down towards the bot side. Yeah, there are a couple of sitting ducks here. The depth charge comes out. Jeff gets knocked up. And here comes Civillock. He's looking for the Timbers. Doesn't have to land it, though. He just stuns up Luru. Timbers does come out. Utility Monster coming in. It's going to be spicy, though. Luru goes down. Jeff finally activating the final hour, and he's rolling forward towards P-Sweezy. It will be a little bit messy, but YUBI gets it done at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, even with the 3-man fear coming in from Sweezy, the one person that you need to actually fear was too far away to get hit. Jeff God Gamer once again comes in, finds a little bit of cleanup, and this is kind of looking like it's done and dusted already at this point. You look at the compositions, you ask how are you going to be dealing with the Vayne, and the answer feels like you're not at this point. P-Sweezy needs to be a little bit more judicious with the way that he's looking to play, and at this point, with Jeff God Gamer picking up that first turret, getting even more kills, normally the 7 Dragon games that we always look at from YUBI might not be the case this time.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dominant so far. You know, we might break the curse finally. Jeff gets his backstop, but it won't matter too much.
It's fine, it's fine.
Yeah. Jaffe's coming down from the top side, but will be deterred by Utility Monster. And yeah, exactly like you said, we got 2 dragons on the board already for YUBI. They're looking to claim an early soul and just close out the game extremely quickly. The Vayne's going to be reaching critical mass, and soon going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I would normally look at this point is Baby, who typically go for a lot of these just like straight bashing your faces fights into the enemy team, would be reasonably well matched up against the way that YUBI likes to play. They do the exact same thing. They don't have a lot of finesse when it comes to fights. It's mostly just playing these very straightforward characters and just saying, hey, we're stronger. We're going to be able to take these fights. You have to look at the dragons that are coming through, and there's no favors being done by the Riot Gods here either. Cloud Soul doesn't like even let's just say that Baby gets all 4 of the next dragons. I don't think it matters, right? Like the extra movement speed coming in from Udyr and Jaffe is nice, but it's not going to necessarily mean that you are going to be better equipped to get through the Maokai routes. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get through the Condemn that's coming through. You're not going to be able to survive the onslaught of Shen just plopping down the Spirit's Refuge and providing Jeff an entire area where he is free to hit. And as Jeff creates more and more pressure on the map, as he gets stronger and stronger, it becomes even harder for Jaffe and Dax to even walk into the Dragon Pit.
Exactly, yeah. The big meatball guys, that's the bane of their existence. This Vayne's raw existence right there is gonna put a huge stopper into the plans. And like you were saying with the Dragon Soul too, Cloud Soul is so good for Vayne and for Kha'Zix and even Maokai as well. So things are going really good for YUBI when it comes to the RNG. Not so great for Baby. Mantis, though, looking to change some fate here, trying to get something on a Freelancer. Here comes the final hour, and they're just rolling straight on in. Huge damage onto Dax and onto Antunes. And Red's found himself a little bit of a 1v1 here. Lulu coming in from the backside. Killer Instincts to the other side of Red and tries to get out with Jaffe, but Freelancer cannot find anything else. Yubi settles for the Rift Herald, and it's a pretty good prize, to be honest. But
I mean, they might also get the Dragon too, right? Uh-oh, Civillock.
Oh, Civillock just walking straight in here. Might get caught out. Freelancer just looking a little separated. He's in too deep, and now he's going to be paying the price. Lure trying to shut him down, and there it will be 450 gold going into the pockets of the Kaisa. Jeff putting a little damage onto the turret, and they've got everything. They got everything.
Yeah, I mean, Carver goes down. Freelancer on the Maokai ends up giving over a kill. Shut down to Luru, who's kind of like the one person that you need to have gold at this point. Sweezy and Luru are basically the only players that can do anything, but it's still 5,000 gold up. It's still Yubi crashing a Rift Herald into the top turret. They are still 3 dragons on their way to the Cloud Soul. And one of the things that I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to is how easily Clovis or Civillock is going to be able to find opportunities to get multi-man Tibbers. How easily is he going to be able to find opportunities to blow people up? Look at where he is in the bottom lane. He's looking for Sweezy right now.
Yeah, he's going straight in. He manages to cue the wrong target, though, and Tibbers gets dropped in, but only to do a little bit of damage. Now, all of China knows where he is. Dax is coming down, and he's looking for the bear slap. Civillock's got another stun charged up and gets stunned out. Hopefully Civillock's managing to get out of here. A little bit of a funny mishap stunning the minion, but it happens to all of us, yeah. I like what you were saying before about looking for the multi-man stuns. One thing I wanted to point out is that Utility Monster opted to go for the Umbral Glaive on the Kazakhs. I really, really love this because Annie, Kazakhs, they both want to be looking for these isolated targets in the jungle, and what better way to do that than denying all the vision, but hold that thought. Depth charge coming in onto Jeff here, and it's going to be Luru that gets rooted up. He's the first target. He's just getting eviscerated by Utility Monster. Jumps in a little bit further. Jeff steps up too far, though. He's going to get gone on by absolutely everybody. Barely managing to stay alive with the Stand United and the Shield Bow Shield. He's still looking to put some more bolts in, though. Takes down Dax. Yubi, they managed to stat check him. Utility Monster does a jump in, jump out, alley-oop. There we go. And it's going to be super, super clean from Yubi.
Yeah, that's an FF angle at that point if I've ever seen it, man. You get the Footman Spear, you get Jaffe, get every single person with his ultimate, and you still lose the fight. You don't even get Jeff. He walks away with the shield bow and is okay, and you lose 2 turrets. What more can you do, right? That was the dream fight. You get the hook onto Jeff. You find everything you could possibly want. All of the crowd control comes through, and you're still not able to convert it. This one looks done and dusted, I gotta be honest. And so now Baby needs to start thinking, what was the problem? Is it the Vayne? Do we need to ban that? I don't think so. It was R5, right? It's the kind of thing you can draft around. Different compositions will work against this much better. Are you going to be able to deal with the end in the future? I think that's fine too, right? I think everything that we saw Civillock do was mostly a product of the way that Baby was just walking too far forward and not respecting it. So as we kind of expect that this one is going to start winding down here in the next couple of minutes, unless Baby starts doing wild things and finds crazy fights, you have to ask, what adaptations are they going to be making the rest of the series?
Yeah, exactly. It's something that really speaks as not of a draft problem either. It's not just something you can say, oh, you know,
well,
like you said, right?
The Vayne is draft problem, at least in this particular draft, right?
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. I feel like Vayne is a very special exception. Maybe you could do this with other hyper carries, but it's still so difficult because Vayne just has buttloads of true damage.
Yeah,
you're right. I was gonna say though, I think it's more of like a playstyle thing. It seemed like Luru was in such a good position and maybe just got a little overconfident there in the bot side. So it could have been the hubris that was the downfall.
Well, one of the things that we do know about Yubi, right? Something that they have been doing for a long time is, let's see if Civillock's done something that's not a minion.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Does not get the stun again.
Okay, I'll give it to him. Sweezy flashed that one.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, that's fine.
That one wasn't entirely his fault. But one of the things we do know about Yubi is they're going to be putting their support on Janna Maokai, right? It's what they do every single game, right? They've done it half of their games so far in the regular season. They've done it through playoffs. Now that they're bringing a new person, they want to make sure that they have very easy champions to execute on. That's something that has made Freelancer look really darn good. It doesn't need to have some of these fancy engages from Leona. You don't have any skill shots that you need to land. Maybe that's the point of attack, right? He's a mid laner and a top laner who is now auto-filled down into the support role. Maybe if you give your bottom lane a little bit more freedom and give Freelancer fewer tools with which to actually play, it'll allow the rest of your map to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I like that. Targeting the weak point, just really trying to drive them down. But Dax will find himself stunned up. A little bit of damage comes in, and Antunes is bouncing around. Not going to be able to find a hook. Yubi, they're death balled, exactly like we were saying before. sticking together as
Sweezie's
a big
late.
stack. And they're ready to fight for the dragon. Controlling the chokes. They got to get this mid prio, though, so that way they're home free. And they're looking at the Baron. Baby is approaching the purple worm. This is very spicy.
I like the idea, but it feels like it's just prolonging the inevitable. YUBI are still stronger than you, and they can probably win 4v5. Notice Utility Monster is going right on back. The ward is there. They know there's no Baron attempt going on, and yeah, it's a good idea from Baby, but they need to continue putting on the pressure. You actually have to be hitting this, and it feels a little bit too late.
Yeah, they're starting up the Baron now, though. Red and Freelance are the first ones to go in. Here come the Roots, and Jeff will get knocked up, but things aren't looking too good. What a huge taunt for Red here, and it's so much damage coming in for YUBI. Luru dives at the back line, but Stand United keeps Jeff God Gamer safe for so much longer. It's a double kill coming in for the Vayne. Freelancer locks up P-Sweezy, and Civillock knocks him down. Jaffe crawling away in the dragon form with a sliver of HP, and guess what? They're already at Baron.
They got it. They already got the Cloud Soul. They got everything they wanted right, and you always have to look at where Jeff is positioned. He's not taking a whole lot of damage. Luru tried to get onto him. Antunes uses the ultimate, but even with all these tools trying to land on top of this Vayne, it's not enough. 7, 1, and 10. The only person still deathless, though, is Utility Monster, but it feels like he's almost like a side note, right? The entire top side coming in from YUBI recognized, hey, our bottom lane is absolutely destroying. Just let them do their thing. We're going to go even on the rest of the map. And suddenly, it's looking super, super good. The season MVP from previous years, the player who has been the #1 player across multiple versions of the YUBI roster is once again the person carrying them in this game.
Makes sense. You know, Jeff is just crazy good. You got to respect the guy for what he does. But look at Civillock, he's blasting straight in, gets the stun in on the Dax. Freelancer looking for some stuff as well, knocks back Antunes. Condemn will kind of push him to safety there. That's okay. Still got a big Baron wave looking to take down this turret. There's not too much that Baby can do at this point as their base just gets torn to shreds. Red also putting some pressure in the top side as well.
At this point, yeah, we already said this. It feels kind of done and dusted, and it's only a matter of how well YUBI actually cleans this out, right? It's not beyond the realm of possibility that it is throwable, but it's pretty darn tough. Dax almost killed out by Utility Monster all by himself, and as Baby gets peeled across the rest of the map, the one person who can try and do something is P-Sweeze, but he's not in a position to do it.
Yeah, Freelancer going in here. Jeff God Gamer, once again, depth charged. Looking for a fear, but they cannot find it. Will be putting some more damage onto this inhibitor, taking it down, and now they've got their sights set on mid lane. Just a matter of time, just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they start moving around, they still have a minute 15 left of the Baron. Jeff God Gamer is still very healthy. He's walking in, already got 2 items completed, almost done with the Wit's End. That'll preclude any opportunity for P-Sweeze to try and take him down. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what Baby does from here. Jaffe is going to be okay, but when you are getting pushed around by the Shen, that's not a position you want to be as the Shyvana. I really don't think is going to see another appearance in the rest of the series.
Yeah, Shyvana's supposed to be the stronger one kicking Shen's butt, but absolute opposite way around. Leaves a lot of room for YUBI to keep pressuring here. They know that Baby doesn't have a top laner to fight with them, and so they can just walk around and do whatever they want at this point. Dax taking a little bit of damage, gets condemned out. Fear in on Jeff, and Freelancer goes in return, but Dax can't find his way into the back line, and he's just going to get taken down. Sweezy is the next on the chopping block, and now all of Baby will be heading back to the fountain. They are pulling back. YUBI looking for the last few structures. They're going to make it a total destruction here, as they're just going to take every single inhib, then set their sights on the Nexus towers. Hook in from Antunes will lock Utility Monster down, but look at the big shield in from Red, keeping him safe. Jumps over, kills Antunes. Now Jaffe is the next one. The Fountain Laser trades back, but YUBI has got the game, taking down the last Nexus turret, and summarily the Nexus. And by God, that was a slaughter.
Yeah, you would not have expected that to be the first game in Grand Finals. These teams are definitely closer than that. And the other thing to remember, you would know this very well, Baby reverse swept semifinals. This game is not going to be indicative of how the rest of it is likely to go. And if it is, my God, YUBI is just the kings of the Helios League at this point. They are trying to defend their 3rd straight title. And honestly, at that point, you know exactly why.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like you said, the Titans, YUBI, looking to defend their 3rd title. And baby, the underdogs, they're looking for a real Rocky, Shonen Naruto style story here. They got to dust themselves off, figure out what was wrong in that game, and then get right back into it. But we'll have to see how they adapt, how everything's going to change when we come back for the next game. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We will be back in a little bit.